part of that. And I'm running a People's Media Advocacy and Resource Center. That is a platform which is carrying out all the information related to Dalits,
Okay.
transgenders, and minorities also.
Okay.
Yeah. And besides that, I'm involved on so many social political activities.
Okay. Okay.
Anna knows well.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you,
Nice to
sir.
meet you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, sir.
Sukhdev ji, good evening.
गुड इवनिंग सर, गुड इवनिंग, गुड इवनिंग। मैं जस्ट अभी पहुंचा हूँ।
Good evening. Good evening to
गुड
Dalit.
इवनिंग सर, गुड इवनिंग सर।
Hmm. Lakshman, we will wait more 3 minutes.
Okay, sir. Okay, we'll wait. No problem. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Ah, it's okay.
Guest.
It's okay, sir.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Sir, welcome to all. I think this lecture is going to given by Dr. Lakshmanan from Tamil Nadu. I think I'm requesting Ravi Kumar from CDS. He will be introduce the lecture and the speaker. I invite Ravi Kumar to introduce the topic and speaker. Ravi.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So today, good evening to everyone. I am welcoming for the 34th lecture series. Today we have the guest Professor Lakshmanan sir. Today topic is Indian Constitution, an instrument for democratic socio-economic transformation. So this is a very interesting topic, sir. So I will tell about sir briefly what sir previously done. So Professor C. Lakshmanan sir, former professor at Madras Institute of Development Studies. It is globally reputed social science research institute funded by Indian Council of Social Science, MHRD and Government of Tamil Nadu. Dr. Lakshmanan sir studied BA, MA Political Science at MCC 1984-89, Department of Political Science. Later he did his MPhil and PhD in Center for Political Studies, School of Social Science, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. He jointly awarded by the Tamil Nadu Progressive Writers Association for the co-author book Untouchability Among the Untouchables, a case of Puttarai and One Hour's Lives and Locations 2015. And he has been visiting faculty at JNU, Delhi University and Hyderabad Central University and other state universities also. Besides, he has been invited as a resource person to international conference on law and society. He also national convener for Dalit Intellectual Collective, which has inclusive forum engaging with Dalit epistemology and eminence political science, politics. So, with a small brief introduction, I request Professor Lakshmanan sir. Sir, welcome, sir. Once again, please give your lecture. So, floor is for you.
Yeah. Jai Bhim to all and good evening. It's a great pleasure and privilege for me to be with you all in the midst of 75 years of the Indian Constitution celebration, which organized by Center for Dalit Studies and other co-organizers. And also particularly, I thank uh, um, mm, Mallapalli Lakshmaya ji and his colleague and staff in the Center for Dalit Studies, Hyderabad, Telangana. And indeed, it's a privilege and it's a pleasure. Because 3-4 days or 4-5 days back, uh, uh, Mallapalli Lakshmanaji called me and asked me to be the give one of the lecture. So it's a short time, very short time, to be presented in the very significant and important celebration. However, I'm happy. And today I'm going to discuss on Indian Constitution, an instrument of socio-economic democratic transformation. Not just a Indian Constitution, column, an instrument of socio-economic democratic transformation. Okay. Baba Sahib Ambedkar told that the state is the instrument of democratic transformation in contrast to what Karl Marx said. Karl Marx said the state is the instrument of exploitation of the working as a ruling class. State is the instrument of exploitation of ruling class. But Baba Sahib Ambedkar, in contrast, said that state is the instrument of socio-economic democratic transformation. See, this democratic transformation we have to minutely uh, minutely attended to, because Marx said any transformation in the socio-economic transformation is possible only through bloody revolution, blood and side violence. But Baba Sahib Ambedkar believed, still we believe, that transformation is possible through the constitutional and democratic means, democratic way, democratic method. That is why I don't know how many of us understand and aware the time of the independent India, similar same period, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and other neighboring countries, even some of other uh, countries which got independent during 1940s, the time in which the India got independent. But those countries are not able to maintain the integration. They maintain the same this thing. Today, India stands united, integrated, and also without any disunity, any major disunity problem. Why? Because of the Indian Constitution. Nothing else. Nothing else. So my presentation going to be something different. So first, I will explain what is the Constitution, how Constitution being made, what is the content and component of the Constitution. And the second, I will also want to explain the abstract state and the concrete state. Then I am going to share some of the major and radical transformation that is brought out by the Indian Constitution in the 75 years. There are flaws because it's not a easy task for 300, 400 years, 3,000, 4,000 years old problem could be resolved in a, a matter of 70 years or 75 years or 100 years. It takes time. But whatever in the 75 years of this constitution as an instrument of democratic socio-economic transformation is made is significant. We need to acknowledge and we need to appreciate and we need to accept it. Okay. So therefore we have to understand that the constitution is, as Casey were one of the very pioneer in the field of constitution and the field of constitution making. Casey were written in a long back in 50s. What is constitution? There's a title called the book. That book title of the book is called What is Constitution? Okay. So Casey were said constitution nothing but the the combination of tradition, custom, and culture and practice. Okay, convention, practices, all these things. But in India, the custom and convention, practices, tradition, all these things are is able to combine as become a constitution. Yes, yes, and also no. So it has a lot of ingredient of Indian flavor and also a lot of
No audio?
because these are the criticism.
Thank you.
Hello?
Thank you. Sorry, sir. Please continue. Please continue.
Because these are the criticism which have been post when the constitution was implemented. Constitution was borrowed from America, borrowed from Europe, borrowed from other countries, and it is not any indigenous in quality. No, no, no. That is all is wrong. Baba Sahib Ambedkar clearly and understood, meticulously gone through the people and society and also the world over. Then he has compiled what is suitable. So therefore, the abstract of the state is the constitution. And the concrete of the state is the reality. What is the concrete? Concrete of the state is, which is multicultural, multipolar, and completely fragmented caste, class, gender, region, religion, language, all kind of decisive things. Nothing is possible because everything was in a very bad state. But abstract of the abstract constitution and abstract the state, abstract constitution, abstract the state was completely progressive, radical, progressive and radical, and completely revolutionary. Because revolutionary generally this Marxist chaps will use, but the actual revolution was Baba Sahib Ambedkar in India. Because how many of us know that Baba Sahib Ambedkar suggesting a trade union and worker to read Communist Manifesto, to read social contract of Rousseau, social contract law of Rousseau. How many of them suggested this kind of thing to the ordinary worker in the 1930s when he was attending the Southern Peninsula Railway Workers Union in Bombay? How many of us know? But Baba Sahib Ambedkar want the worker to be the world. worker to be united and worker to be the rule. But these Marxist people never read anything on Baba Sahib, and also uh, till now, not now in the late in the past, but even now, Marxists are yet to be understood Baba Sahib completely. Okay, so I don't want to distract. So this abstract and the concrete. Abstract was a completely radical revolution and progressive. But whereas the concrete of the state is a completely fragmented, casteist, divided on language, religion, region, and many other, and the caste, also class. But Baba Sahib Ambedkar wanted to have completely a different India, a India which is progressive, India which is radical, India which is a revolutionary kind of thing. That is in the Indian Constitution. Indian Constitution is an instrument for a democratic socio-economic transformation, which has which has contributed extensively, extensively and significantly in the last 75 years. People may not acknowledge and agree that progress that the constitution made. See the Sri Lanka. What is the situation now? The primary school students and primary schools and the secondary schools, they are not able to get a paper to write the examination. They are struggling. Their struggle was extremely horrible. In Bangladesh and Pakistan and other neighboring states which are got independent along with same time in India, they are all struggling to cope up. But India is progressing. India is progressing. How? India is progressing because of the constitution that is in the center stage as the instrument for a change, as an instrument for a democratic thing, democratic transformation, not violence, not a bloody violence, revolution, blood, and all that. But it is changed because there are more than 100 and around 100 or 100 plus amendments also came. But it's all in the regular Indian or original Indian constitution accommodate or accomplish thanks to CAA Act and the bill, because unless until the CAA Citizen Amendment Act is not being placed, almost 60 or 70% of Indian or 90% of Indian may not have been pronounced the preamble of the Constitution. Because of this act, because of this fact, people have come to the street, started reading the preamble of the Indian Constitution. Because Indian Constitution is supposed to be like a Quran, like a Bible, like a Bhagavad Gita, or any other sacred text for the progress, for the transformation. But after CAA was proposed, people have come to, and particularly the leftist communists have come to the street, and they started, we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into the sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure all its citizens justice, justice in social, justice in economic, justice in political, liberty of thought, liberty of expression, liberty of belief, liberty of faith and worship, equality of status, equality of opportunity, and to promote among them fraternity, assuring the dignity of individual and the unity of and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give ourselves to this Constitution. This preamble to make majority of the Indian educated, not uneducated, educated people to realize the significance. It takes 40 years. It took 40 years. Despite this has happened. This has happened, and still the Constitution will be the instrument for a democratic social transformation. So Baba Sahib Ambedkar said state is a democratic socio-economic transformation, instrument of democratic social transformation. I'm putting it, it's not a state as abstract, but a state, the abstract state is a constitution and the concrete is different. So in order to change the concrete through abstract, Baba has provided one of the finest and the most powerful, radical, revolutionary document called Indian Constitution. And people may ask why Baba Sahib Ambedkar could not or did not include socialist and secular in the original constitution. Because I'm a student of Professor Raju Bhargava, who wrote Ethics and Morality in Indian Constitution. Please read this book. Very important book. Very, very significantly interpreted, significantly understood what is the Baba Sahib Ambedkar's contribution in the nation building and the transformation. Even before that, one should read Granville Askin. Granville Askin is one who done extensive work on Indian Constitution and the Indian constitutional debate, all this thing. And the title of the book is, I think, The Cornerstone of Indian Constitution, Granville Askin, because one should read. And he provides nuanced detail about each major amendments, major articles, and the debate. One can read a 2-3 volume of a big fat volume of constant debate. It's a green color book available in the Indian Parliament Library, and one can buy also. A green color is almost each contain 1,000 pages. But in that we can get a detailed, nuanced, detailed discussion. What had transpired in the Indian Constituent Assembly. So Granville Askin, Raju Bhargav, and D.D. Basu, who has done extensively on Indian Constitution and commentary on Indian Constitution. And they have completely understood. Of course, other scholars also understood, but these are directly related to Constitution and the article amendment. Why this amendment? Why this document all these things which are very relevant. Mostly these documents and these books are hardly referred in the universities and the institution or even in the colleges taught. Ethics and morality of Indian Constitution. How many of us know? How many of the university, how many of colleges subscribe this as a syllabus text? Hardly. I don't know. But it has a very valid. Professor Raju Barga argues that Baba Sahib Ambedkar did not include socialist and secular in the original constitution when he dropped original preamble when he was enforced. Why? Because he said the secular and socialist and the concept of secular and socialist are embodied in the lives of the Indian subcontinent, people of Indian subcontinent. Secularism is developing and it's also changing the definition all these things. But the Indian secularism, which is Baba Sahib understood, it's not a separation of religion from politics. It's a distance between religion and politics, principal distance. The distance may elastic. The distance could be elastic when and where this distance require it be narrow or it be widened with the interest of the larger section of the society, not the minor or the small section of the society. So this is a very powerful debate which Raju Bhargava, because the whole thesis on Indian secularism very important. Second thing, people are trying to reduce Baba Sahib Ambedkar was a specialist on a reservation or a specialist on concept called social justice. Social justice, of course, is a wider concept, but in India, of course, social justice is understood and misunderstood on the caste-based reservation alone. Social justice is not merely a caste-based reservation concept. Please don't reduce the concept of social justice into the reservation. It's a small drop of the concept. But major concept of social justice is much more wider, much more bright or revolutionary also. Imagine in India, dignity of labor, when it has come to our midst, dignity of labor came to our midst only in 1942 when Baba Sahib Ambedkar was secretary to the labor and the colonial labor secretary to the colonial government. Major revolutionary rules and regulation in support or in the benefit of worker came during that time only. Is it not a transformation? Is it not a transformation? Social security, 8-hour job, 8-hour work, maternity benefit, and provident, retirement, medical benefit, or residential benefit, and many other casual leave, and many more on this workers' welfare was initiated in 1942, and when Babasaheb Ambedkar became a drafting chairman of the Constitution, he has incorporated all this thing into the Constitution. Some of them he incorporated into the fundamental rights. Some of them he could not incorporated and included in the fundamental rights. He wrote as a directive principle of state policy. Some people called as a Gandhian principle policy, but they very terribly contradictory. The Gandhi and the scientific was a very good thing, but I'm not belittle the Gandhi because I am a fan of Gandhi also. Because most of the Dalit hurt Gandhi for many reasons, but I don't do it because one reason that Gandhi was the instrument to um, to make the cause atrocities and cause violence, untouchability to the conscience of the oppressor, those who are practicing untouchability, those who are oppressing the Dalit, those who are oppressing the untouchable. Gandhi was the instrument. His path was means and ways are different from Baba Sahib, but its concerns are very, very genuine. One cannot be belittled. So that way I say that Gandhi is very, very important because Gandhi was addressing a moral and conscience of the mind. Baba Sahib Ambedkar addressing the legal and constitutional morality. Constitutional morality. Legal and constitutional morality. So there's a difference. So all these things are very important to understand that Indian Constitution has given us a powerful weapon. Instead of instrument, I can say that it's a weapon. It's a powerful democratic weapon. It's not a violent. It's not a weapon means you cannot imagine immediately that AK-47, AK-57 type. No, it's the instrument to transform constitutionally, transform peacefully with the negotiation. In the beginning, I said Baba Sahib Ambedkar recommended the trade union leaders and the workers should read 4 or 5 texts. I'm recollecting all this. If at all I forgot, excuse. The first Baba Sahib Ambedkar suggested to read the workers and the trade union leaders must read Communist Manifesto. First. Second is the social contract. Third is the Treaty of Work Labor by Henry 13. Henry 13. And fourth one is something I can't recollect now. It is why I'm repeatedly saying this. These are very classical. Why social contract is very important to understand. Let me briefly explain the because Indian Constitution also is a social contract. Mostly, many of them may not tell this because when I read the preamble, we the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into the sovereign socialist secular democratic republic, to secure to all the citizens justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. In our Constituent Assembly and this deed hereby enact, adopt, and give ourselves to the Constitution. Exactly the same language in which the social contract was formulated. First contractually, as Thomas Hobbes, he lived in 11th or 12th century in Europe, in England. In those times, even before that, even those days, those times, the Europe was completely nasty, brutal, barbaric, like India. In India, sometimes some villages even today like that only, nasty, brutal, barbaric. Otherwise, how can this uh, this the arrogant killing? I won't call them as, honor killing. It's arrogant, fast arrogant killing. So nasty, brutal, barbaric. This is a state of nature. State of nature means absence of a state, absence of the constitution, absence of the rule of law. Fine. So any situation cannot sustain for a long. The situation itself try to find resolve. So people of themselves come together and resolve this. Okay, we surrender ourselves to the monarch and give ourselves to the monarch, including our right to life. That is a half. But whatever the monarch decides, despotic, whatever monarch pronounce, that becomes a rule of law. That becomes everything. So this is a situation. Then comes Locke, John Locke. Even he also from England, but he slightly lived in a very composed, very peaceful life. That is a peaceful industrial revolution was taking, and Magna Carta was taking place that way. So things are more peaceful, mutual negotiation, dialogue, and discussion, deliberation. So John Locke said, state of nature is not nasty, brutal, barbaric, but it is something peaceful, coexistence, and mutual, all this. So Locke said, except the right to life, rest of them is given to the aristocrat, not one monarch, but aristocrat. A group of people can command and rule, govern us. We will surrender. People surrender ourselves. This is social contract. Then comes Rousseau, Jacques Rousseau from France. He was a pioneer and is the father of democracy and father of revolution. All this. He came and he understood. Rousseau's personal life one should read. This is very interesting. I don't want to go into that. So Rousseau comes and said, no, neither neither aristocrat nor a monarch, but people should govern themselves by the people, for the people, of the people. So he said, the general will is the governing superior. Sovereignty is a sovereignty. The superior power lies with the general will. So Rousseau said, the state of nature, of course, is not a nasty, brutal, and barbaric, but state of nature is a peaceful, noble savage, he said, and coexistence, no fighting. But so when this fighting and all this came, and he said, this piece of land belongs to me. That means when the concept of private property came to exist, the conflict has started. Before that, everything sufficient. equally, mutually, everybody happy. No private property, no private family, all these things. That is why you call noble service. Okay. If the time is there, shall I conclude? We'll have a discussion.
Continue, sir. Continue. You have 10 more minutes.
Okay. Okay. So, Rousseau was more emphatic and very pragmatic, and said people have to govern themselves, and the general will is the superiority, general will is the sovereign. So that is why if we read Baba Sahib Ambedkar's constitution and social contract, it's all resembled. It's all resembled. When the British govern, there are conflicts. There are more than 500 dynasties or more than 500 jamins and all these things are there. And because I don't know how many of you read please read a very significant autobiography by our Professor Y.B. Satyanarayana, My Father Balaya. If you are not read, please read. Because you can understand the colonial situation one, and also how the railway technology has evolved. How many of us know that the railway technology, somebody will stand and post and like in um, the post of flag, no, somebody will post when someone posts a flag, he will try to rope the this thing. Similarly, there are three roofs are there: red, yellow, and green. So those days, people have used manually to give a signal like that. So Satyanarayana meticulously providing those details. One. Second is Satyanarayana also provide the detail of when someone is Madras presidency to travel to Nizam presidency, he or she has to exchange the currency. These are vital information which is stored in the autobiography. Very vital information. Is a researchable topic. So I come to the topic because we have to be understood how the constitution evolved, how the constitution is an instrument which brought a radical change in the uh, past 75. I'm not a person of pessimist. I'm a person of optimist. I'm very satisfied, though there could be more change could have been brought out, which we are all struggling to. But however, the 75 years of the independence, the constitution, which is started with the contradiction. Okay. And but those contradictions are trying to limit or trying to reduce, if not eliminate it. Before I complete, I suggest some of the reading. It could be helpful for the participants to understand how this constitution as an instrument of democratic process. One, the seminal piece written by Deepak Nair, 1998, an interaction between economic development and political democracy. Economic and political use. Please read this. And second is uh, David uh, David. Um, it's cost and modernity and uh, Indian business. Something is modern Asian study 2018. David Moses, sorry, Professor David Moses is written a seminal piece, how the democratic process, because the point which are making, I'm just making it online. David Moses said most of the Dalit and the non-Dalit political parties are very little understanding or attention given to economic development of the marginalized community. They are concentrated on social, political reservation and voting right representation. But economic development is not, these are invisible. I use David Moses' language, it's invisible. So this is a very important two piece, very important, and also please read uh, Raghuram Rajan, State, Society and Market. How this state, society and market interacted in the last 75 years is a very significant, unless until we may not able to proceed further as sometime in private conversations Sir Mallapalli Lakshmi that another 5 to 10 years the Dalits will lose all the opportunity, education, employment, and they will go back to the traditional work of this thing. In order to prevent those situations, we should read, understand, and be the catalyst for the instrument for democratic social transformation. Thank you so much for the wonderful opportunity. I'm happy to uh, answer your question and get any clarification. Thank you so much. Jai
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Lakshmanan garu. Thank you very much. Very thankful to you. With the short time, you agreed to give a lecture. The very detailed and very thought-provoking. I think another thing, Lakshmanan garu, please prepare note. Whatever you spoke today, you can prepare one article, book. You cannot restrict yourself for the pages. Whatever you want to, you can give to us. We are decide to publication all the lectures, and it has to celebrate another occasion, 2026, January 26. We are all meeting at Hyderabad. The 75 our intellectuals, resource persons, our young professionals, professors. I think that could be another big intellectual conclave, Dalit intellectual conclave. I think.
I'll try. I'll try.
Please send whatever, whichever is early. Then we can have a thing. Thank you very much. I think I uh, open to question and answer session. I think Ravi will be coordinate. Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So now we are open for the questions and clarifications, sir. Go ahead. Anybody have questions? Please introduce yourself and ask your question, please. Thank you. Arun sir.
No, I'm waiting if someone want to raise anything.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
Yes, sir. Well audible.
Yes, sir. Jai Bhim to everybody. I am M.R. Droj from Himachal Pradesh. Professor Saab really delivered a very useful and educative, lecture here. But indeed, there is a link between economic transformation and caste in India, which is often missed by academics. You know, sir, that truncated transformation is partly an outcome of this interface between caste and economy. And uh, caste shaped the policy outcomes, including India's highly unequal land reforms and lack of public provision of education and health, which is in turn erected barriers to the economic diversification. Caste also worked in building social networks. Castes that were already in control of trading and industrial spaces registered in the entry of others. Even those who had economic surplus in farm section could not invest in non-farm modern sectors. Social inequalities have mounted barriers for economic transition. And although the Constitution granted free and compulsory education under the directive principles, it is hardly translated into practice. Inequality in access to education got, translated into inequality in other economic domains, including wage differences. Caste also shapes the ownership pattern of land and capital and simultaneously regulates access to political, social, and economic capital too. So my question is, sir, that is it not a now residual variable for the caste is left an active agent which stifles economic transformation? And what could be the effective variables which can be accelerated, which can, accelerated the democratic socio-economic transformation? Thanks, sir. Over to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Very important, significant question. Thank you for the question. Sir, uh, I agree that the cost and economy are interlinked. Cost economy is one cannot dislink and one cannot underestimate the linkage and the lineage. Therefore, we have to address, Baba Sahib Ambedkar in the state and minority, he has extensively written and advised, suggested the state should be, the land uh, mm, should be, the ownership should be, land ownership should be given collective, not individual. And also the river, natural resource should be nationalized. And a public sector should be profitable. And therefore, those public sector profits can be utilized for the betterment of the marginalized people and the needy. But it was done in the early. It's a begin with in the early 60s and 70s. When the 80s slightly is changing. That is why I suggested to read Deepak Nair. Deepak Nair is a former vice chancellor of Delhi University, and who has done a PhD from Oxford University, and he has been a professor at Cambridge and so on and so forth. This is one of the pioneer of economic uh, development, understanding economic development in India, and also he is not a very reduced himself to any political affiliation. Neither is Congress, nor is a leftist, nor is a rightist. He is a pure objective economic. So he has written so many books, but so many articles. But this particular article, which I refer 1998, during 50th years, the Golden Jubilee of Indian independence, he has contributed a special article in EPW, understanding India's independence, economic development, and political democracy. We were very careful in choosing vocabulary, political democracy. He was
Yes.
not here saying it's a democracy as such, economic democracy. He is saying political democracy. We have, as Baba Sahib Ambedkar said in the beginning, 1949, when he was submitting the constitutional draft, we are entering into the contradiction. Politically, one man, one value, one vote. But in the economy, we do similar economy and culture. Therefore, as quick as possible as we will change the situation that people should have a economic democracy. But unfortunately, I'm repeating, unfortunately, in the post-independence, both Dalit leaders and non-Dalit political parties, Congress or communist, could not adequately given attention to economic development of the marginalized and SC or Dalit.
That is smart. Exactly, sir. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yes.
So we need to squarely engage with how we can economically sustainable, if not powerful. If not powerful, we should have a sustainable economic development among the community. Unless otherwise, the community going to face a serious problem in the coming 5-10 years. Because we have a public education is lost, public employment is lost. Because we said equality of opportunity. Because equality of opportunity only in the public sector. That to public sector was all closed down. Railway going to be privatized. Airport is privatized. Airlines is privatized. And ONGC, which is one of the Navaratna of the public sector, is sold out. And employment is public employment is sinking. So either we should fight for the private reservation and private sector, or we become the private sector ourselves. That is the because Dickey has
Differences are
tried,
also there, sir, in
no,
privatization.
Dickey had tried something, but it's not able to make much progress because it's not very this thing. But we have to think seriously. That is why I refer one David Moses article on modernity of cost and market economy. This is the title of the article: Modernity of Cost and Market Economy, 2018, Modern Asian Studies. It's a journal, international journal, a very reputed academic journal. Modern Asian Studies. David Mose has written a powerful article how Dalits lose out the economic aspect.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Is there anyone
any-
have anything?
Any questions? Arun sir.
Basically, if there is no one to raise any question, then I could have to speak. Hello.
Please, please, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, look, we have to look the situation on current context and link up with the Ambedkar's vision on economic rights. Uh, now we are in a transformation, we are in a changing, we are entering into the next phase that the Dalit rights has been well established and acknowledged already. And now we are entering into a next phase, which is basically very much linked with the economic rights. At the same time, just 2 days back, that the government has already, cabinet has passed that this caste census and all. So how we look Ambedkar as economist, number one. Number two, as you said that you do believe on Gandhi. And my question that when we look into the Gandhi never basically supported or never stood for the equality, though he was very much he whatever his campaign was, it was against the untouchability, and he left that all the equality on the wishes of the upper caste people. So this is another point. And similarly, as you said, raised that there was a strong contradiction between the left, particular Marxism and the Ambedkar. I have gone through number of times with that, and if you can look into the period when there is a conflict where Ambedkar was campaigning for the casteless society, and in the same time that Marxist movement for the landless people. So there was a contradiction, and there is a third instinct where the Congress was leading a freedom movement. So but for Ambedkar, that casteless society movement was a more important. So he never supported that land issue of the Marxist led movement, and at the same time, Ambedkar was not ready to support the movement for the freedom. He wanted that before going for any engagement, we have to resolve the issue of casteism. First, we have to resolve that we need a casteless society. So I need some your inputs on it. Though I really appreciate
Thank you.
I appreciate the way you have a place. I may have many more questions, but I don't go on that. This much is
Please.
this is already much. So very sorry for that. But I
Okay.
need your
No,
response on it.
sure, sure, sir.
Thank you.
I'll certainly. Yeah. So I, I said I don't reject the Gandhi. I did not believe Gandhi. Okay. The way in which our Dalit friends and they will ridicule Gandhi for whatever reason, they may be genuine or they may be sorry, but that is not a. But I stand by what I said. Gandhi is means and ways and means may be different between Baba Sahib Ambedkar. But Gandhi was genuinely addressing the question of caste and untouchability. And initially he was untouchability, but later he also understood the rigidity and the pathology of caste, and he has changed his mind. This is a later stage because we have to read Ramchandra Guha's after Gandhi, who is after Gandhi, and one. And the second thing is we have to read one of the pioneer of leftist, internationally scholar, um, um, left review editor, um, who wrote Indian Ideology. What is his name? Uh, I just who is the editor of Left Review? Um, is a University of California teaching in history. I will come back. I'll come back to his name. In the 2000 or 2013, he wrote a book called Indian Ideology. Okay, 3 essays. Okay, it's a very important book. I don't know how many of us read, and if it's not read, please read in order to understand the entirety of
Please write the name
Indian.
on message box.
Yeah, I will do that. I will do that. Once I recall, immediately I do that. I it is in mind, but it's not coming. He visited in India in 2013 or 2012. He had given a lecture in MIDS. I was one who coordinated. Hegemony of East and West. That is the title of it. There is a editor of New Left Review, the journal, international journal, a very prominent journal. I don't know how many of us will refer to. But however, this particular book is a very significant book. Understand the uh, independent struggle and the nuance and the meticulous detail of those debate and discussion. Okay. He sent the question is centered. He started the book in the center. The country which has multiple language, multiculture, multi-religion, multi-region, and so many diversity and so on and so forth. But the political party which advocates one language, one religion, one nation, all this Hindu. Fine. But party has acquired the power in 2014. And how it is possible? Because even earlier also 1998 he is acquired power. So the center question is this. So he was looking for answer through reading different personalities, major personalities. One of the personality, Nehru, Gandhi, Ambedkar, and Patel, and Subhash Chandra Bose, and so. It's a major five, and more all. Right? Even this Jinnah, Muhammad Jinnah.
One Dr. Rajendra Prasad.
That Rajendra Prasad, I don't know because I didn't think so. He's trying to read Rajendra Prasad, but because I'm talking about this particular because I'm getting into his name. But anyway, so what he was presenting, Gandhi and Nehru are more religious and more Brahminic, including Nehru. It's not Gandhi. People always say that Gandhi was a more Brahminic caste. More than Gandhi, according to him, Nehru is a caste. Okay. So if you read that book, you'll understand very well. And how many of us know that in 1947, August 14, 15, midnight, what transpired in Delhi? But he provides starting the third chapter in the book. Okay, it's called Republic. Third chapter called Republic. He starts and quoting New York Times, Washington Post, London Times. All three. Because he is a historian. He's a meticulous historian, and so he Anderson, Terry Anderson. The author is Terry Anderson. He was a editor of a New Left Review and has written many books and one of the leading Marxists in the world today. And the uncompromised Marxist. Please understand, because he never compromised. He's uncompromised Marxist. And he lives as a Marxist. He is not a pseudo Marxist. So he wrote this book, 3 essays. And third essay was Republic. The Republic is the chapter starts with this thing. In 1947, the midnight of 14 August and 15, Nehru and his colleagues sitting in a crossway in front of a holy fire, and the Brahmin and his spouse brought from Kumbakonam, Tamil Nadu, with a special flight, chanting a mantra, and the spouse are putting a vermilion flag to the foreheads of the leader. At the stroke of 12 of midnight, Nehru stood up. India trust with destiny. This is what Indian Republic started. Okay. Another thing. When 1956, December 6, Baba Sahib Ambedkar died in Delhi. Okay. And his body has to brought to the Bombay and cremated and ritual. And people of the Independent Labour Party, as a Scheduled Caste Federation, went to Nehru when Nehru was the Prime Minister and requested, please provide us a flight service. Nehru said to buy the ticket and pay the amount, take it. Baba Sahib Ambedkar was the then Law Minister, then Chairman of the Constituent Assembly. He was asked to pay a price, a ticket, to travel his body to transport to Delhi to Bombay. But Kumbakonam Brahmin and his family, his wife, our wives, are brought in a special flight to chant mantra in the 1947 August. See the contradiction. Okay. So it's not all very rosy and picture. Baba Sahib Ambedkar also have a lot of what is called tolerance. He has tolerated all this. Why he tolerated? Because of the community has to come. And he was upset when he resigned. Hindu Code Bill was rejected. And how many of us read the full text of the resignation letter? He said, I was an economic professor and trained by economic development. But I have been given a law ministry, which is considered Baba Sahib language. I'm using Baba Sahib language. Is a Kali soap dabba. They given me a Kali, Nehru gave me a Kali soap dabba in the ministry. I supposed to be the either economic development or in the financial development. But nothing happened. Despite I try to do the best. However, see, Gandhi has a lot of limitations. Nobody can say he is pure and his limitations are understandable. But he was the one who took the caste question to the wider public. We have to acknowledge that fact. Because of Gandhi, the caste question was discussed in the Congress party seriously. Caste question was discussed in the RSS, Sangh, Swayam Sevak Sangh, and by this thing. So these are facts, historical facts. But we cannot take Gandhi as a face value, but we cannot reject him as a simple person. Both Baba Sahib and Gandhi as traveling in a same aim, but a different direction, different mode of operation. That is the one. Okay. So
Ravi,
we have, yeah. If you have any other question, please, sir.
Ravi, do we have 1 or 2 minutes?
Yes,
Please,
sir. Yes,
please
you
go
can
ahead.
go. Can go.
So, that sorry to say, basically in Lahore Congress conference, that Gandhi has pressurized and ultimately allocated 20 lakh rupees for the campaign against untouchability. And that is what I am raising. Now, you know that the host of the Gandhi again came up of us since last 15 years, we are facing Hindutva. Now Hindutva has taken a new face and it is now surrounded us with the Sanatan. What my point? The Sanatan, the same. Just last week, the grandson of Gandhi came to Lucknow and I had a discussion, and he declared during his deliberation, he said, "I'm Nastic." Then I said, "Why you are?" Then personal conversation. I asked, "Hey, you are carrying that Gandhi's legacy, and now you are same time you are telling that you are atheist. How you can manage all these?" And he laughed only. So what my point that yes, Gandhi was very much against the untouchability, but in the same time he was very much strongly believe on the Varna ashram. Means he was not at all against the caste system. He needs certain level of account, certain level of accommodate that upper caste have to accommodate the lower caste people, which could not change the demography at all and the economic situations. The second, Gandhi never talked about the resource equitable share of the resources. Where Ambedkar has raised it that land have to be nationalized and something like banks have to be nationalized because the bank and land these two means the natural resources as well as the bank. If these two could be nationalized, Ambedkar was thinking that if these two could be nationalized, then the economic upliftment of the marginalized community would be possible, which is being later on. Indira Gandhi has nationalized the bank, but still we do not have access. And in the current in 2016, it was the ever first time the country, particular the people who are very much, I could say,
Sir,
who are believing on the
sir,
constitution and other, they started carrying.
I'll take
Yeah,
all your critical point on Gandhi. I agree, and there is no. But however, I remain stand that uh, Gandhi uh, um, as because today, how many of us read a report with the globalization? Globalization today, if you want to against the globalization campaign against the globalization, Gandhi is one of the pioneers. Gandhi's ideology is one of the pioneers.
so fully agreed.
Gandhi, no. Gandhi advocated village economy. Gandhi, who said Gandhi is not talked about resource sharing? Gandhi talked about in the later stage of his life, he talked about share in the village economy. Gandhi was
Completely agreed.
addressing the Gandhi is in the later stages. He was against the caste system as well. He was a earlier period because the dynamics have changed. Person in the very radical or I may be very different. But when I grow 50s and 60s, I realize what all I made a mistake and I will correct myself. Gandhi corrected himself and is agreed himself because that is the poetic of Mr. Gandhi. So we are not
Completely agreed with
celebrating.
you.
We are not celebrating Gandhi, but we need to acknowledge Gandhi's contribution. And Gandhi's today, Gandhi is a one who was stood by the indigenous development. Gandhi was
Completely agreed,
stood by
sir.
the village economy because one of the Cambridge doctorate from Cambridge doctorate, I forgot again. The names are not immediately coming. He has implemented Gandhi's program in Dindigul, Tamil Nadu. And he visited, because when he was in the hospital, Nehru visited him, and there are a lot of hilarious joke around. But despite there are different directions, Gandhi in one direction and Ambedkar in one direction, but both have wanted this country to be a uniform, this country to be a peaceful, and country to be a integrated.
Only
Gandhi
one
was
line. Only one
okay.
line. When Gandhi has wrote the Swaraj, he opposed even the railway because he raised the issue.
I
If the railway will
limited
be
that, sir. Please,
introduced,
sir.
then
Sir,
the
please
village economy
don't
will
go
be
to the
destroyed.
sir, don't go to the very nuanced detail, because every person has a certain ignorance and a certain limitation. I said the Gandhi has a lot of limitations, and those limitations are emerges from his location in because I forgot to suggest one more article. Please read Surendra Joka, Nation and the Village, 2002, Economic and Political Weekly, special article, Nation and the Village, Gandhi, Nehru, Ambedkar. How these three personalities have looked at the village in a differently. Why? Brilliant, excellent piece, because these are the pieces are classic. I'm saying one of the classic article one should read. Nation and the Village. Title of the article, again I'm telling, title of the article, Nation and the Village, Gandhi, Nehru and Ambedkar. Brilliant piece. If you read this article, you could able to understand, and you will get the answer. Thank you.
Definitely, definitely, and thank you. You really enhance my own understanding and knowledge. I'm
Thank you, sir.
thankful to
Thank you.
you. Don't take me otherwise.
Thank you.
Just
No,
raising
no, no,
my
no,
own
not at all.
understanding.
No, 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 not at all. This is a discussion. This is discussion.
Ultimately, you people are the torch barrier, and we have to follow you all.
No, 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 no,
So,
no, no, not at all.
Thank,
Not at
thank you,
all.
sir.
We are sharing our information, not even knowledge. Sharing information.
yes,
Thank you,
Right.
but
sir.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Arun, sir. Thank you, Lakshman, sir. So is there, I think nobody asking any questions. So we are doing discussion. So already is 8:30. Okay.
Yeah.
So I thank
Okay.
once again, sir, Lakshman, sir. Very, very good lecture, and we all learned so much about Gandhi and Ambedkar, the discussion also. From serious point of view, from other organizations also, we thank very much. And maybe to Shah told
No,
like
no, and I'm not
15.
a Madras Institute of Development Studies. I'm retired professor, and now I'm national convener of Dalit Intellectual Collective.
Yes,
I
yes,
do
yes.
Sir,
some
I
work.
will disturb you sometime. I'll take your number.
Please,
Yes.
please. I welcome. I'm happy to discuss.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Vananda. Thank you for your presence
Welcome,
and
welcome.
information.
Have a
Thank
great
you,
day.
sir.
Okay.
Once
Thank you,
again, thank you,
Lakshmanan
sir,
garu. Thank you,
Lakshman, sir.
sir.
Once again, thank you,
Thank
sir.
Thank you.
you.
I
Thank you.
hope I done a justice to the and discussion and celebration.
Lakshmanan, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Lakshmanan. Thank you for the wonderful
Thank you.
input.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Nice to meet you after a long time, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Guys, you know, why